I've just been prepping my supper, and I'm going to show in as much detail as I can give how the food waste, the stuff you normally chuck away or at least give to council, is going to make my food in 12 months' time. Follow me to the compost bin. Now, I've got a home-built set of 3 compost bins. 3 is a bit of a magic number in compost making. Basically it means 1 bin is filling, 1 bin is resting, and 1 bin has got last year's compost in, ready to use. I'll show you the first one. There we go. Now in here I put all my kitchen scraps, garden waste. There's an awful lot of things you can compost. In fact, the more you compost, the better for the compost, because mixing it all together gives it a nice rich blend of ingredients. Whereas if you just put one thing in, like grass cuttings, it doesn't seem to compost very well. Another thing I do put in my compost as much as possible is cardboard. Actually, the ideal mixture, they always say, is half greens and half browns. Cardboards are brown, plant stalks are brown, kitchen scraps are greens, grass cuttings are greens, that sort of thing. So anyway, there's no real hard and fast rules about compost making, just keep shoveling stuff in and get the kitchen scraps. And this bin will build up. It's a big bin, you can probably see. It'll take just about a year's worth of compost. So I just keep putting stuff in. As it digests, the level sort of drops, so it actually takes more than you might think. When the bin is full, it's time to move on. And this bin here filled a few months ago, and this one is resting. As you can see, it's got quite a lively ecosystem in here, including some potatoes that really shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, they'll die off. Stuff's been in here for a few months, like I said. It's got a very large population of woodlice, slugs, snails, and there's an awful lot of smaller scale organisms you can't see. Everything down to bacteria and fungi, which just get in. The magic that's happening here is a bit to do with biochemistry, subject that I don't fully understand. But basically, the ingredients that make up plants are pretty standard. So the stuff that I've put in there, when it breaks down, because that's what's happening here, into its constituent basic chemicals, is pretty much the right set of stuff to grow more plants. So here is basically the raw fertiliser for my garden being made, and I'll use this compost. It's been here a few months. This one I'll be using at the beginning of probably the beginning of next year, to start to grow things again. And I may well be growing the same plants, the same type of plants, things like carrots and courgettes and so on, that you just see me chucking that one. The whole idea of composting, you keep everything in a closed loop. And you don't often need to step outside that loop if you do your compost properly and you get enough of it. You can literally grow your food from what you threw away the previous year. Move on a bit. Bin number 3 is from last year, and we'll have a more detailed look in a moment. But basically, in here is a sort of it's a brown crumbly mix. Let's have a look. There we go. Right. Okay. Here's a handful of it, and this is basically what they call humus. It's all rotted down. The chemicals that made up the plants, the things that were bonded into quite complex molecules when they were growing plants, have all been broken down, and they're now in a form that they can be taken up by the roots and used by other plants, basically. Quick change act. I'll put my overalls on for this next step because it's a bit up close and personal with the stuff. But here we are, bin number 3. This is the stuff that's been rotting almost 12 months, and it's all broken down into that nice brown humus, which contains everything that the plants need for their growth. Anyway, I'm going to get in now, and I'll show you how I use this stuff to create my food. Just going to sieve it first. I'm going to be using this in the greenhouse for a bit of potting on. So it's not essential that it be sieved like this, but it's just a bit easier to work with. And that's it, that's it. So break up some of these lumps. It's actually dried out a little bit in there, it's not sticking together. I'll just pop these back in the currently digesting bin because they can break down a bit more. There we go. Okay, so I've now got a quite nice sieve material. On its own, it's not a brilliant potting mixture. It's actually too strong, and it is also missing some of the more mineralific elements that you get in garden soil. So I'm going to add to this about the same quantity of sieved garden soil, which will give me first of all a slightly heavier, more stable mixture, and secondly, like I said, supply a few minerals as well. I'm actually going to take my soil for sieving from the chicken run. The chickens, first of all, they manure a bit, and they also scrape it all around, so it's nice and easy to grade. But whilst we're here looking at chickens, one of the things I didn't mention when I threw my kitchen scrap straight in the compost bin, there's an even better way of getting extra food out of the process of breaking things down, which is to feed your kitchen scraps to the chickens, let them produce eggs, and then take their bedding and their poo and put that in the compost. It's the same cycle, but you're going through 2 loops rather than a single one, if that makes any sense. But like I said, it still keeps the nutrients in the system. There's nothing lost at all in the way of plant nourishment, and the same chemicals are just going round and round and round in any biological cycle. And all the gardener has to do is just make sure they're not lost and they end up in the right places at the right times. Good. Here's me. Well, just set this same way. There we go. You can have the rocks back. So I've now got a mixture of half soil and half compost. We'll trot up to the greenhouse now, and I'll show you the next stage of the process. So here I am in my greenhouse, doing a job that hopefully any gardener will recognise. I'm potting up my tomato plants. These were set up earlier in the season, growing on the windowsill, and they're in exactly the same mixture. It's my standard mixture. I use it for seedlings, for potting on. I even use houseplants for it. And all the plants here are in exactly the same compound. As you can see, it's good stuff. It grows things very well. Pot on fine in there. These will come on great. I will put them later on in the soil beds behind me here, which are also dressed with large quantity compost. Some of it's my own stuff. Some of it is bought compost from outside, and there's a bit of seaweed as well. But the basic principle is it's all plant-based composted material that is growing plants again. So to summarise, this is what I'm doing here. I'm using last year's food to grow this year's food, and you can even say that I'm using the year before that's food and the year before that as well, because I've been growing in this garden for some time. The same plant nutrients are going round and round and round. It's a closed system, and this is really the basis of organic gardening, if you want to get philosophical about it, because you are working with natural cycles, and nutrients are like energy in physics, never really destroyed. They just change form, and this probably sort of not quite gives the lie, but gives an interesting perspective when you hear in the news at the moment, we can't possibly feed mankind without artificial fertilisers, without fossil fuel-based fertilisers. I don't think that's entirely true, because a system like this, which mankind has practiced, I mean, there's nothing new about organic gardening, you know, since we came out of the Stone Age, shows that you don't have to. It's working here on a small scale. It could work on a bigger one.